Let me tell you, by the fire's dim glow, the story of Silas, the warlock bound to a darkness few mortals dare name aloud. In the drowned city of Veridian, where rain falls day and night without mercy, and lamplights flicker in the mist, a nightmare prowled. Shadow beasts, slick with rain and hungering for warmth, crept through alleys, devoured laughter, and left only silence. Yet among the cowering masses, one soul strode without umbrella or lantern. Silas, his cloak sodden, his eyes haunted, his bootsteps echoing in puddles streaked with blood. For it was Silas who bargained with what lies deeper than shadows. Silas who wore a sigil burned black on his palm, marking him as the favored thrall of a demon called Acrathiel. And it was Silas alone who understood the price of power, the soft wager of one's soul for a chance at hope, or perhaps damnation. In Veridian's youngest days, Silas had been a scholar, a boyish, book-bound dreamer on the steps of the city's vine-choked towers. He swore oaths of lantern light, sketched runes in rain-misted journals, and asked foolish questions about the nature of mortality. All that innocence washed away the night the shadow plague was born. For Silas's beloved Mira was stolen, her laughter devoured by the first beast, leaving Silas with only empty rain and colder nights. And so, broken by loss and hollow with rage, he spoke the true name of a demon, a name no living tongue was meant to utter. From that midnight bargain, Silas emerged changed. He carried a voice in his mind, always whispering, "Are you willing to risk all, or will you let them suffer for your cowardice?" The demon's magic flowed in Silas like ice, winding through his veins and shadowing his steps. During the city's nightmares, when the beasts rose with the storm, Silas turned the darkness against itself. Tendrils of pact magic rent apart monstrous forms, and for a while, folk whispered his name in gratitude, fading quickly to suspicion. After all, who better to understand the shadows than one who trafficked in them? Still, day after day, week after week, the shadow beasts multiplied. Deeper grew the demon's hunger, and greater became the price. Every victory left Silas weaker. Every life saved pressed his soul closer to the demon's hungering maw. He stalked through the market square, a slaughterhouse now, where the rain made rivers of red and black. A half-eaten baker lay against a cartwheel, vacant eyes staring skyward. Silas knelt beside the corpse, drawing his cloak to shield the wound from view, but the metallic tang of blood mingled with the demon's glee. Somewhere, within his mind's gloom, Acrathiel's laughter rumbled. "So much death, so sweet the harvest. Is it not beautiful, Silas?" Silas felt the sick heat of rage mix with dread. "This cannot be what I have wrought. What if I am the true monster on these streets?" The truth clawed at him like a beast. Silas's own pact, the source of his terrible magic, had unleashed the storm that now threatened to erase Veridian. Following the trail of corpses, he moved through shrieks and silence, mud and fear, always one step closer to the cathedral's broken doors, where the largest gathering of survivors huddled, praying for dawn that would not come. There the demon showed itself, not in flesh, the pact forbade that, but in dreams, in a miasma of glimmering blackened light, Acrathiel stood, a horned shadow, wings like funeral banners, and offered terms. Silas saw his city reflected in the burning coals of the demon's eyes, saw children clinging to mothers, saw the towers sagging with rot, saw his own reflection, a man veering ever closer to the abyss, fingers stained in every shade of guilt. Acrathiel's voice curled around him, wet and cold. "You know what I hunger for, Silas. Will you make the final bargain? Offer your soul, and I will pull the beasts back. Deny me, and I shall loose a tide of nightmares so vast that the city will drown in shadow." Silas's knees nearly buckled. The price had always been there, a sword above his neck. Was he willing to let Veridian perish, knowing he could halt the carnage by forfeiting himself? Or should he break the pact, use its full power to smite the demon, even if that meant the city might be scoured utterly in the chaos? He whispered, so faintly even he could barely hear. "Mira, what would you have me do?" His mind echoed with memory, a voice gentle and clear. "There is always a price, love, but one soul weighed against many, a choice no mortal should bear, yet someone must." He knelt upon the cold, rain-stained altar, hands clenching the black sigil on his palm. Around him, survivors wept and prayed, unaware of the war within the Warlock's heart. He looked inward, toward the well of his soul, and found there not just despair, but, impossibly, resolve. "I am more than what you made me, a cathedral. I choose." He stood, face lifted to the vaults, as thunder rolled and the demon's form flickered like distant lightning. "My soul is my own," Silas said, a whisper at first, then fervent, a cry laced with pain and hope. "You will not feast on Veridian, nor on me. If shadow must fall, let it fall upon me alone. I bind myself, not in servitude, but in defiance." Acrathiel's shriek split reality, drew the survivor's eyes. Shadow beasts writhed, caught in a whirlwind of pact-breaking force, drawing towards Silas by a compulsion deeper than terror. They circled the altar, mouths wide, eyes lifeless as the moon drowned behind clouds. As Silas opened his arms, the storm broke at last, a single ray of dawn slicing the gloom. Every shadow beast hurled itself towards Silas, drawn into the sigil that burned, black and bright, upon his palm. The pain was unthinkable, a body tearing, a soul punched through with anguish and cold. Yet Silas would not scream. Instead, as agony peaked, he saw, for one heartbeat, Mira's face, gentle in the rain, smiling as if to say, "You kept your promise." With a last defiant gasp, Silas spoke, "May this darkness end with me." In the gray, trembling dawn, the people of Veridian emerged from the cathedral. The rain finally ceased. The city, battered, began to limp toward healing. High upon the steps, Silas lay, pale, spent, but alive. The sigil was gone, the demon's whisper silenced. He watched the new sun rise over broken towers and found, deep within, a peace he had never known. He had been tested, by demon, by fate, by himself, and chosen redemption. In weathering the storm, Silas had become the hope he had so desperately sought. What would you have done, standing in his place? Would you have bartered your soul, or let the city fall? If this story moved you, let the tale echo. Leave us a comment with your choice. Subscribe to our channel for more tales by firelight, and share your own destinies. And if you thirst for more Dungeons & Dragons stories of heroism, sacrifice, and dark bargains, remember to like and subscribe. We await your next suggestion, brave souls.